Yo.
What's up with it?
The fire session. Y'all already know what time it is. Y'all see we got some beautiful ladies with us today.
We got the crew with us.
But we got some guests with us today, and y'all know it's about to be totally different today.
Yeah. Jody hitting us up in the comment section. Tell him to leave us alone.
Yeah, it's about to be totally different today. Y'all know why? Because it's about the ladies today. We're talking about the ladies. So before we get going, y'all know we got to go around and make sure everybody's good. So Pumpkin Spice, welcome to the show. How you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. You got me nervous.
What? Not my Spice.
I feel like I'm in the principal's office.
You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be straight. Just let that natural flow. You're gonna be straight.
Okay.
Okay. So we got Felicia Banks with us. She's joining us again. She's back for the second time.
So
how you doing, ma'am?
Glad to be back. You see, I changed my name. So now I can get a little bit of followers on Instagram.
Because the first time she was on the show, she didn't have her Instagram, her IG information and everything popping yet. We told her, you can't be on the fire session and not have your information for people to follow you. People want to know what's going on in your world. So you got to have that information ready.
Facts.
I took notes.
See, look at that. That's the stuff we like. Football people, like you're on the coach, like a coach on the sideline taking notes.
Yeah. So we are missing one part of our crew. Patricia is not here yet. She is tending to her children. She will be joining us shortly. But that goes along with our topic, and that's a piece of the topic for today. Today's topic is I'm the mama. I'm the mama. Not me, not Big Ken.
Not the mama.
Not the two brothers on the show. But I ain't no mama. I'm sorry.
Exactly. So that's where
I ain't trying to be one.
I'm glad that Felicia pointed that out, because that's the first thing that came to my mind when I started thinking about this topic is the old show Dinosaurs, and the little baby say, not the mama. Like in this case,
not the mama.
Yes, they are the mamas. They are the mamas, and they're a very crucial part of what we do. And matter of fact, like I said in the post, they're the most important people on this earth, because without them, we wouldn't be here.
Facts. And I don't know if I can deal with I can't even deal with a room full of Negroes, let alone a world full of them. So we salute y'all.
That's a fact. So we definitely wanted to key in on, strictly the positives of being a mother. We know people out there that aren't so keen at their job. I don't care what field you're in, and that goes for life. That goes for being a parent as well. There is no manual to this thing. We know that. So we have to make it up as we go along. And that's the difficult part. But I think this is just Big Ken's, own opinion. And I'm a father, been a father for 21 years. And I still think you can't convince me that being a mother isn't the most difficult thing on the planet.
I would agree.
And then add a working
the way y'all
mother
have to run around and do this and do that and do that and then do that and keep it all together.
And take care of y'all.
Well, yes, that's a very important part. But see, one of them, when you got one of them brothers that was raised by his mama, you know what I'm saying? He know how to do a few things, you know what I'm saying?
Not necessarily.
I think grandma.
Yeah.
Right? But and then to keep it all together mentally, whether you have the proper help or not, to be able to hold it together, make it look good when you're doing it. Listen, they teach you in business class, man, let a woman look at it first before you even, push it out there. So definitely commend each and every one of you guys for the awesome work you're doing. We know you guys are mothers, so we're going to break it all down.
Yeah, because and that's good that Benji pointed that out. He said let a woman look at it first, because let's be honest, fellas, women are way more detail oriented than we are.
Yeah.
Just by their natural abilities,
Right.
like to hone in on things that we generally don't look at or don't see, or it bypasses our sight. But
Right.
I think that's because a lot of times with mothers, you know what I'm saying, as you have your children, and say for instance they walking through the house, like you're looking at their body language, you're looking at their faces, you see little cues that maybe everybody else doesn't, because that's your job as a mother to pay attention to those things, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
a lot of
Men
times,
were more logical, so we'd be like, "Boy, just going on, get up out of here." You know what I'm saying? So we're a little different. So
yep. So I just want to talk about a little bit first, what does being a mother mean to you? Like when somebody says, okay, when you first, when you were young and okay, that's my mom, like what does that mean to you, being a mother? So either one of you ladies can go first.
Well, my kids, they got me this thing for Mother's Day, and it says, to the world, you're just a person, but like to us, you're our world. And I think that that's a lot, because every kid says that their mom's the best mom in the world. Like, I think my mom's the best mom in the world. My kids think I'm the best mom in the world. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of get held to, like, you get put on a pedestal, in your kids' eyes. And so it feels good knowing that they look at you that way. So that's for me. I know, like, your first kid, I got 7. So like my first kid, he kind of got the brunt in my learning. I was young, I was 18,
learning it
and it
all
was
right.
like a trial and error situation.
Right.
So he's now 18. He's about to have his first kid, and it's like he's repeating me all over again.
Right.
Even though he's a boy, it's like it's me all over again. And for me, it kind of saddens me, because like I wanted him to do better than me,
Right.
and I just feel like it's just me all over again. But like him setting the stage for his other siblings, they're seeing what not to do. Don't be like this to mama, like, or you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
they're learning, the rest of the way. So hopefully it's a little bit easier. But my 18-year-old, he's a knucklehead. He's a knucklehead.
Growing up, because that phase, they kind of see, they kind of react to what they see. But what I was commended about is that your youngest, the 18-year-old, he's ready to get married, so to speak, right?
Right. He
Right.
proposed
So
to his
he's kind of
girlfriend.
starting off on a decent foot. That I have to respect to it. You know what I mean?
I mean, he's trying since, I don't, like, I try to tell him I don't want him to do it for the wrong reasons, but
Right.
in his mind, he's doing it for the right reasons.
Right reasons. Right.
Even though I may see, like, you guys are young, like, slow down, like, you still got forever to go, like, don't rush it. He's like, I want to be married before this baby comes. I want to make sure, my family's taken care of. I want to make sure, because he's joining the military. I just wants to make sure that everything's in line. So in his mind, he's doing it for the right reason. So for that, I commend him. I can't tell him what to do or what not to do. But I mean, in his heart, he's doing it for the right reason. So,
Right.
that I am proud of.
All right, Miss Pumpkin, not Pumpkin, y'all. Don't get her name wrong. Pumpkin Spice. Go ahead and talk to us, girl. What does a mom mean to you? Because you come from a different background.
That is correct. And I commend
So talk to us and give us that dissertation. Talk to us.
you. I commend you with having 7 kids, because I only got one. And she's 12 years old. I had her when I was 26. I actually graduated nursing school and then got pregnant, a few months after that. So I was kind of the person that get the career, then have the baby, like the right, quote unquote, what they say.
The correct.
There is no correct way.
The birth order. Yeah.
Right.
There is none. So for me, let me be honest, I didn't really want none, to be honest.
Okay.
So as I did, was married, because I'm not married, my ex wanted. So I was like, you know what? You can't be selfish. So I had one. So for me now, that I actually decided to have a child. It means the world to me. Just like you said, Felicia, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Just having someone to look up to you, and when you're down and you come home and that individual just brighten up your spirit, they motivate you to keep going. It's so many things, with the love, the affection, the embracing, the y'all want me to keep going? I can keep going.
I
Gratitude.
mean, it sounds like
just,
it's like this
just
constant reassuring from.
it's better than a man. I'm just saying.
I mean, listen, I know from
Emotional,
experience, me and most of the time, we can't compete with a mother's love towards her kids.
the emotional.
I know that from experience.
Yeah. So it's a feeling that you can describe, but you really can't describe if it makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm in the whole preteen stage. I got a little bit of attitude. She said right here being nosy too. I got the little bit of and the frowning and stumping the feet and all that. And I'm not quite, into the whole relationship and all those things as of yet, but I am the oldest of four. So I had to step into that role when mom was working 3, 4, 5 jobs to make sure we were good. So I went through those stages of the emotional, the hormones, the boyfriend, girlfriend, etc. And then trying to make, and them looking up to me and trying to make sure I'm doing the right thing so they can
Right.
follow my footstep, which is the same thing I'm doing with my child. So,
Right.
set the appropriate, I don't know how appropriate I am, but I'm just saying.
I mean, this was amazing because I was this, and this quote sticks with me, and maybe you guys would agree with this. And it stuck that you are growing even as you are raising your kids.
Oh,
Like
definitely.
it's like there's no template, so to speak. Even if you had parents who kind of showed you the way, I come from that background, no parents to kind of show you that model. But I think we all can agree that maybe even when we had our kids, or you guys are like, we were still growing. We were still learning them. We were still learning us. Would you guys agree with that concept?
Yeah, and I think like my mom, there was some things I'm like, I hope that I could do such and such like my mom. And then there's other things and I'm like, uh-uh. When
Right.
my kids are growing up, I'm not, so there's, you see from your mother. Now, I still think she's the greatest mom in the world, but there are some things that, I do differently with my kids than she did with us. I am the youngest of three.
Right.
So I was like the baby.
The spoiled one.
I was the spoiled one. I'm still her favorite to this day. Like, I don't know. So I don't really know what it's like I didn't never knew what it was like to have to look after and mother and nurture and, do all that. Cause I was the youngest and I was my mom's favorite. So she just always did for me. So I never
Right.
experienced that. But in my kids, I do put some pressure on my kids because, like, being a single mom, like, I am at work sometimes. I do got to call my daughter who's 13 and be like, hey, can you make sure, your little brother's got some cereal? Or, I go through those struggles too. So she's like, I don't want no kids. When I get older, I don't want any kids. And I'm like,
You know what?
good.
You know what? I was going to ask Pumpkin the same thing, because she was saying she was the oldest of her siblings, and you're saying your daughter saying she doesn't want kids. Do you think that's part of the reason why you didn't want kids?
Me, I was so much goal driven. So my thing was like, I got to do this. I got to get this done. Because I'm setting the example that quote unquote my mother thinks is the way you should be and look. So that was my sole focus. So I wasn't thinking about boys, sex, nothing. I was just
Right.
get this done so you can make mommy proud. Then maybe you can live your life. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? So that was the biggest thing for me. So I wouldn't say more so that it was because of the experience I went through. It's just because I was so focused on setting that platform for my siblings to have someone to look up to. And that's all I was focused on at that time.
And
And
that's
I can
cool.
understand that too, because you come from a very prideful, your background is very prideful. So I can see that. Was that something like that pressure was put on you to be that, or was that just you, or did that come from your mom?
No,
Or how did that work?
Haitian American, the big thing is education, making learning certain things to make sure you're financially stable all across the board so you can be able to provide if mom or dad were to not be here anymore. That is the sole purpose. Not all of it, but some of the pick me up individuals. So Felicia says that she was the baby and spoiled. I was the oldest and the only child on my father's side, of which I was spoiled. So I got it on both ends. So I can give you the spoiled brat when I'm with daddy, and I can give you the oldest with mommy that was like, get it done or you get your ass whooped, period. And that's the one thing that I said I was not going to do with my child, because my mom never explained anything to me. If I did something wrong, all I did was get an ass whooping. I never knew why. I never was taught how to deal with your emotions, because if it is, shut the hell up or you get another slap. So it's like, okay, don't cry. So those are the things that I did not want to instill in my child. Express your emotions. If I discipline you, you're going to know exactly why you got in trouble. Don't let me say it more than twice, or you then will get an ass whooping. So I was able to explain those things where I don't have to take it to that next step, like my mom would. She would just
I like what you said, though, because you were goal driven. Hey.
Hi.
You were goal driven already. Like your mind was set to achieve your goals. I feel like, I'm not like successful, but I'm pretty well established, like to be able to own my own home and things like that. And I feel like my kids were my motivation. Like I didn't want them to struggle. I didn't want them to be on food stamps. I didn't want them to live off welfare. So, I started from the bottom, but like I worked my way up to where I am because of them. I was young, dumb, and stupid. If I would have had one kid or no kids, I don't know where I would be. So I feel like they've motivated me to do better for myself.
That God had for you. Everybody, he sets a path for everybody. Your path was that way. Mine was this way, and everybody is that way. But as long as the common goal is met and, your kids are happy, you are happy, I salute you, Queen.
Awesome. Welcome, Miss Patricia. Welcome.
Hi,
guys. Coming in. Always great to have you on. Always great. Always great.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Everybody's doing good. Okay, y'all. Let me go ahead and provide this context. Now, Patricia, aka Trisha Michelle, is late today because she was mothering, right? She had to take care of her kids, and this is exactly what we're talking about today, because a mother's job is never done. There's always something, and she had to prioritize her child over fire session. Well, we completely understand it.
And we get it. We get it. We totally understand
that. We want to do that.
My guys always got me. Y'all always got me. So that's always the great part.
She knows that. She knows that. That's what solid people do. They don't trip off all that extra stuff,
But we're definitely glad to have her here, and we are
going to pick on you though. So
that's fine. I got that tough skin. Bring it.
Right.
So the ladies were just talking about basically what we asked them, what did being a mother, or what did a mother mean to them? And so we would like to hear your thoughts on that. What does a mother, mean to you? Because you have a couple of kids.
I do. One just turned 18 in May, and the other one is 12. And mothering for me. So for me, it's important to do everything that I can to prepare them for the world in itself. I mean, of course, there's no way to fully prepare them for everything that's going to hit them, and be the best example that I can. But at the same time, also be that person that they could still come talk to, that they still feel safe with, versus like, I think I heard you earlier saying like, if you got in trouble, you was getting your ass whooped. That was the same. Like with my dad, like it's coming, but you're in trouble, yeah, and you're gonna feel it, but you're gonna need to. Here's what you need to do better. Think about the ways to fix this, or to be better at this, or to be better at that, versus just, if I do this, I'm gonna get whooped. Like, but why? What's going on? What's happening? Like those things. So I try to do it just a little bit different than it was done to me. Like I was raised very well. I feel like it was a good foundation, but my job is to be better, like than that for them. So that's what it means for me.
Now, we asked this question to the fathers when we had our fatherhood show, and I want to propose it to you guys as well. The question was, did raising your kids as a father, of course, you guys as mothers, do you approach every kid different? Like, how do you parent each kid? Do you apply the same tactics to every one of your children? Like, where do you draw the line? Like, because in between that, maybe there's a favorite. Felicia talked about her mom having her as the favorite. We know this kind of is that dynamic. So talk to us, Pumpkin, about that aspect real quick. Considering that you have the one, how do you deal with that?
Okay, so I only have one, but I'm gonna speak because I have siblings, so I'll speak
Right.
on the dynamic. With my child, I know my child. I know how to speak to her. I know how to approach her. I know how to say certain things. I know what her triggers are, etc. So that's her. That's my sensitive Leo in the background. Um, but for me, yes, my mom treated everybody differently. I can handle the more tougher talk, straight to, no sugarcoating. Where my brother was like, same way. The third sister, you got to stroke her head a little bit, butter up. The baby, you got to pretty much coddle her.
Right.
Oh, it's okay. So based on all our personalities, yes, everyone was treated differently, but we all got like what we wanted, what we needed. May not when we wanted to get it, but whatever we asked for, we all did get what we wanted.
Right.
Everybody got their first. My mom bought the first car for everybody. She paid for, if you were going to get your associate, she paid everybody's first part of their degree. So everybody got the same standards when it came to setting us up. Now, whatever you choose to do with that, it's on you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how she did it.
Right. Patricia, same question. Like, how does that work? Because you got a boy and a girl, so I know it's kind of a different dynamic.
So, man, I really have night and day in this house. They are two totally different individuals when it comes to personality, when it comes to getting whatever the message is across to them that I need. My son doesn't respond well to aggression or yelling or anything like that, but he also doesn't respond well to, hey, do this please. So it's like like it's a nice little balance. So his is really he's a material person. He likes his computers and this and hanging out and also you got to find out what gets him going and all these other things. And like when you need stuff done, like, hey, you want to be able to do this and that, or the things that kind of get him ticking. So he wants to be able to buy nice clothes and have a nice car and have this. So if you want to be able to do these things in life, you need to make sure that you're going to school, that you're doing this, you're doing that. Then it computes to him like, oh shoot,
right.
I ain't gonna have a nice car if I'm not doing this, or I'm not gonna do this if I'm not doing that. So it's a different way that I would talk to him than I would talk to her. Now she is a Leo. That's why I laugh because I'm like
the sensitive Leo.
she is like I will get on her and she'll be like, "You're not my friend no more," and I will be like, "I don't have to really ever be aggressive and even the slightest raise. She's like, you pick up stuff, let me like it's good. So she's way easier in that aspect. But you do have to talk to your kids. It's just like everybody learns different, visual, hands-on, this and that. It's the same way that people receive messages. It's the same too. So you do have to change it up and cater to whichever way it is that they need.
Right. Yep. Felicia, now because you got the little ones too. So talk to us a little bit. So you got to kind of manage this whole tribe. So how do you do it? How do you make it happen?
I got all the age groups. I got the 18, 16. I got the 13, 12. I got the 7, 6, and 3. Ooh. So like all over the place. But like the biggest thing is my 12-year-old, if I take his computer, say he was not listening in class and I got a call from the teacher, which happens all the time with him, I'll take his computer. But like my older son, he'll get in trouble for whatever it is, missing curfew or something. And he's playing his computer, but my 12-year-old be like, yo, when Joe did this, you didn't take his computer. No, I took his car. And I take your computer, I take my daughter's phone, I take what matters most to them away. Right. I'm not a big like spanker. So like my kids, I don't even think they've ever been spanked. But they do get disciplined because I take what is dearest to them.
Right.
So like my son right now, he can't drive for the rest of the summer because he missed curfew. He was already he was already
She took that
grounded.
boy whole summer away. She like, listen
I
here.
mean, my kid, they start school on September 6th. He'll drive again then. But like, for me, that's big to him, you know? I can't take a car away from a 12-year-old that he don't have, you know? So for me, I parent each of them different. Now, my little kids, they don't do no wrong. They're perfect.
Right.
So.
Now, man, I tell you, they changed a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Like, but like my 18-year-old, you know, he got a reckless driving speeding ticket, and I sold his car.
Ooh,
wow.
Go look at you playing.
I'm just not like, I'm just not the parent that's just gonna let you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do whatever. You made your mistake, and this is your consequence. Now you're gonna have to raise your own money, get your own money to get your license back, get your own money to get your own car. You know, I paid for this car, and I'm gonna take it because you want my insurance. You know, you make it harder for me. You know what I'm saying? So every kid I do parent differently. But yeah, my younger three, they're
perfect.
do no wrong. Yeah, they don't do no wrong.
The babies, them the youngins, them the young babies. They're always perfect.
They're at different stages in life. So
right,
18-year-old to take the car and make you have to work to get something back. The little kid's gonna be like, huh?
Yeah. Right. Well, I only had one girl. You know, she's she's 13. So all the rest are boys. So me and her, we just have a different relationship. You know, my kids will be like, "Oh, Shiloh's your favorite," and I just got to be like, "She's just my only girl." Like, I don't know what else to say. You know, but
my son says the same thing. But it's just she listens.
She responds well, right?
Well, and for him, it's he want to be my. That's my. We go, and
my 18-year-old's my knucklehead too.
Right.
I know he's 6'2", you know.
That's mine. He
7, and
I don't care who you're talking to.
Exactly.
Is there any guilt in this at all? Because as a father, my 13-year-old, my Joseph is like, I can't even tell the kid no, because he's like the perfect kid, right? He listens, he like the whole nine, everything. But is there any guilt when you're dealing in those aspects? Because you have the kids. How do you deal with that? Pumpkin, how do you deal with that when your kid is being pouty? You said she's sensitive. How do you deal with that?
You got to stroke the ego, man. You have to, because, you know, sometimes it may be something to do with friends or school. It's not, sometimes not even you. So, you know, you got to ask the appropriate questions. And then she got that little book that says, manage your emotions. Let's go do a page out that book.
Right.
So we're trying to work on those things because you're not that age. They're not really in tune with their emotions, you know.
Right. They're all over the place.
That, so they don't end up like, you know, the people that have road rage, you know.
Right. Because you guys are managing the emotions as well, so I can understand that totally.
Yeah, I always try to tell their dad, like, you get mad, you get angry, you scream, you lash out. Why they can't? They don't even know how to control it. We're adults. Like, we should be able to control it, but sometimes we don't. Sometimes our kids make us get out of character. You know what I'm saying? Like, but why can't the kids? They be like, stop crying. Like, why do they have to stop crying? Like, they can be sad. They can, you know. And so that part, having different parenting styles is really hard. That is really hard.
Well, I think one key thing, like you were just mentioning with their dad, is we have to unlearn some of the stuff that was instilled in us, because we have to understand that our parents were brought up in a totally different time. So, you know, there are things that we can take from the way we were raised and our model for what a parent is, you know, whether it be, you know, mother or father, but we have to kind of look at that as a framework possibly and change some things, right?
Yeah,
I agree with that.
You don't just follow it, you know, verbatim.
100%, right? Because there's always adjustments that's needed, right?
Yeah, and like y'all was saying, you know, I was, you know, going to speak up then, but it's like all the kids are different, so you have to approach them different. But at the same time, I think when we were kids, we didn't understand that dynamic either, right? That the fact that, you know, you had an older sister and, you know, your parents were this way with her, but a different way with you. And see, for me, I was, you know what I'm saying, I'm the only boy. And I have older sisters. So I get the brunt of that because they think I'm my mom's favorite because I'm just the only boy. But also, like you all was saying, I was rebellious at points, especially as a teenager, because I really just didn't, me and my mom just weren't on the same page with, you know, her approach to things, and I just didn't understand it. And I say that also to say we had a question that came up. It's a long one, so I'm just going to read it. Now this is for the ladies. She said, when is the line drawn for the personality that is more coddled, but it has a negative impact on the child where they take advantage of that approach? So let's say that the tougher approach makes them more rebellious. She's asking the ladies on the panel, what would you suggest? She has a male child that's 12.
And she said, when do you not coddle the child?
Like, where is there a middle ground? Is there a middle ground? Because they take advantage of the soft approach, and the rebellious approach, and the tough approach makes them more rebellious. So,
well,
I would want to know what's bothering the kid first.
Go ahead.
Oh my! I would want to know what's bothering the child first. Like sometimes, like Pumpkin has said, if their emotions and what's going on, sometimes it's something going on in school, or it's something actually going on with the parent that they don't like, or they don't feel like there's, we're not on the same page, or you don't treat me well, you don't listen to me, or you don't whatever, and then they grow this resentment. And so it doesn't matter if you're nice or you're aggressive with your approach.
They have the resentment, right?
It doesn't matter. So I would try to figure out those things. If my son was like that, I sent it to a therapist, because you don't want to talk to me, that's fine, but we're going to find you somebody to talk to. So
that's dope.
And that's funny, because I was just getting ready to say that as well, Patricia, because that's the first thing that's going to come to my mind, because I'm actually studying mental health, and I'm actually doing pediatrics, and I just finished that chapter before I jumped.
Fresh with the
so that was the crazy part. I was
both of y'all in both of them, so yeah.
Understand the child's developmental stage. That's what I'm looking at right now. So based on the age, are they appropriate for those emotional things that they're going through? So I'm not going to necessarily say if I coddle, they're going to take control, or if I'm what she said, if I'm very strict, then they be rebellious. No, we have to find out what is wrong.
Right.
Why are you like this? What has happened? How can I do it? What can I do to make the situation better so you can feel better? So I wouldn't necessarily say discipline or coddle. Let's find out what the real issue is. And I'm with Patricia on that one.
The root cause.
My 12-year-old, he sees a therapist currently. And with her, she's even teaching me, because he's just like he's just difficult. And so for me, she's teaching me ways. And she told me his love language from a child perspective is touch. Like, just go up, give him a hug, just randomly give him a hug, randomly just say that you love him, like let him know, instead of always just being frustrated with him, because he is hard to deal with. He's dealing with underlying issues that I don't know, and so for me, it was my job to get an outsider, like, Trisha said, like, get the outsider in here, because if you don't want to talk to me, you don't feel comfortable, you think maybe I'm going to judge you, or I'm going to tell you something like, oh, you shouldn't be feeling that way. Let's go talk to somebody, So she comes to my house, and, she helped me learn a better love language for him, because I was always constantly, oh my gosh, okay, just go to your room. You're like getting on my nerve. Like, just go do that, and she's like, and that wasn't working, So she was like, his thing is touch. And so that was new for me. So like you said earlier, Benji, like you're still learning, you're still growing. Right. Each kid is different. Like, I'm sure when my 3-year-old grows up, he's going to be in a different stage, I'm going to have, and I'm going to have to teach him differently, so, absolutely. But it's, definitely learn your child, like, sit down, and if they don't open up to you, it's okay to get help. Like, it is okay. You didn't fail as a parent. You're failing as a parent by not getting them help.
And another thing to do, most parents really won't think of journaling. Buy them a journal and just let them just go and just randomly go through it. I'm telling you, you can learn so much by what's in that little book.
That helped me as a little boy. So I always recommend journaling. I've been writing since I was little, and you couldn't articulate things at 7, 8 years old, what you were experiencing, what you were thinking. But I would always go and write stuff down. And that made it make sense for me, even though that presence wasn't there. So talk to us a bit about your comfortability of bringing somebody from the outside in to talk to your kids. Overall, you guys are the mothers, like you're there, you see them, but how comfortable are you or other mothers with saying, you know what, I think I need to send my son to a therapist? How is that uncomfortable or is that comfortable?
For me, I just felt like I've tried everything that I can do,
Right.
and like it's not working. So like I don't know what else to do, you know? And I was like, I just have to get, maybe he will talk to somebody that's not emotionally invested in this family dynamics and the situations and stuff like that. Someone that's just giving pointers or tips or, you know, different ways he can control his
Right.
outbursts and, you know, helping give him tools as well. And then it's teaching me as well. So although I was a little, maybe I probably should have done it for my older son, but like I'm not going to make the same mistake. That's why I say your oldest
Right.
one's kind of
Right.
like your trial and error, you know? And it just, for me, I was like, I'm not going to wait till he's 17 or 18 and I'm ready to be like, you're an adult, get out, you know? Like, I don't want to be like that. So for me,
Awesome.
it was difficult at first, but I wish, now that I did it, I wish I would have done it sooner for my oldest son.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Punky, talk to us about that for a second. Like,
Well,
if you ever had to do that, or if you ever wanted to, talk to us about that feeling.
I would think we hesitate a little bit because it's more like guilt. You know,
Right.
I'm a child. I should know what's wrong. Why do I have to go find somebody else to help me figure out my own child? Is the initial thing for me. But because her and our her and our, I can't even talk. Her father and I,
Is that your? Is that? See, you don't have no wine in you
father
right
and
now, so you're just
I,
nervous. It's all right.
Wow.
when they there, they eavesdropping. You gotta watch your words a little careful.
Right. 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 Right.
She gonna come in close real quick to talk.
Let me see what she's saying. You talking about me on that show? I can't even believe you. I mean, so you're gonna be all right.
Right? Because of I think Felicia said it, different households, different parenting styles, and then 1 minute when they're there, they're doing whatever, and then when they come home, they come with a little attitude and feel like they could do the same thing. Then you're trying to figure out what's wrong with you. And I was like, okay, maybe we should, have this conversation by yourself first, and then with everybody. So the idea was she just felt like we were always like this, and it bothered her because she had to pick sides. So then at that point, we had to kind of say, hey, we need to get on the same page because it's affecting our child. So once we were able to do that, so far, so good. Keep my
All
fingers.
right. Awesome. Okay. All right, Patricia, because you mentioned it, you kicked it off with that. So talk to us about that comfort area. Was it something like instantaneous? Took a minute. How did that work? How did it go?
So for me, it was a little different because my son is vocal about it. So I thought he was just saying something just to be give, because my son will say he'll want this just to throw you, just to keep you at bay or throw you off, whatever. So he'd be like, I need to see a therapist. And I was like, boy, like, so
Right.
eventually, but I'm paying attention to like the things that are happening. I already knew like where I knew he had resentment. I knew even towards my daughter, towards other like me. And I knew where they came from, but I didn't know how to navigate it with him or how to help him navigate how he felt
Right.
because his dad's not around, but hers is. And so that fueled a lot of his like anger and
Right.
frustration, and it's been since he was a little baby. So it's like, sports and stuff, his dad's not around, not involved. But then for her, her dad's involved in everything and her whole family and all this other stuff. But he just has my side, me and him. And that's it.
Right.
So he would look at that and then he would feel like I favored her when I didn't. She's just easy and she's young right now. But no matter
Right.
what, that's going to look like that for sure to him, especially since he just feels like he has him.
Yeah.
So that started channeling into school. And then then as he got older, it became into the household with trying to be unruly. And I'm like, so at first I'm meeting it with aggression and I'm like, and then I try to talk to him. And then I'm like, okay, a mentor, like a male
Mhm.
mentor that I know that he would listen to, that he looked up to. So he would talk to that person, but I'm like, that's fine. But that's just the male mentor aspect of it all. But he still like whole totality needs somebody to help him navigate everything.
Right.
And so after he mentioned it, I was like, maybe he's not playing. And I will be I would feel horrible if he mentioned it to me and I didn't give him what he's crying out for.
Right. Right.
So that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Like I'm gonna sign you up. And then I started seeing things change a little bit with him. And so I was like, okay, this is what he needed. So yeah, it wasn't I just thought he was playing.
I mean, that's commendable though. That's very commendable that he would mention that.
I want to point out one thing that is amazing that I'm glad that Felicia brought it up is the love language for children.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We talked about this on a previous show, and we talked about this on a lot of episodes. We bring up love languages a lot, and people don't understand that is the key to most human interaction, figuring out how that person receives love, right?
Right.
So the fact that kids have their own love language and understanding what that is, I think that's the key to most mothers, because most mothers figure out what that is.
Right.
And they're able to relate to the child, where dad is just, we're
like whatever, man.
Protection.
Like
protection.
Get over yourself. Like you all right?
With dads, we're protection, we're guidance. We're guidance, but we don't get too deep into the love aspect of it.
Right.
Unless it's a little girl, so we feel like we have to love our daughter, but our sons, it's like, okay, we just gonna teach you how to be this and teach you how to do this, but I don't care whether it is, male or female, each child has a love language, and that's the key to figuring out, how to navigate with that child. And I'm glad that you pointed that out, because we actually have the young lady who asked the question. She was also saying she didn't even think about that. Right. So the fact that you brought that up, is helping somebody else, because now we're putting that out there and people are actually gravitating toward that and saying, you know what, I need to pay better attention to this child and to the people that I interact with to figure out what their love language is, so I can properly, interact with these people. So I just wanted to bring that up. And that was a great point that, all of you all have been talking about as well.
That's dope. That's dope. Helping people on the show. Look at that. See, look at y'all being superhuman.
So I got a question for you. The next question is being a mother the way you imagined it would be when you were younger, when you saw, mothers, when you saw your mother, being a mother, saying the same.
Like, she already shaking her head. No, like, no, nah.
Okay. Go ahead and kick it off, Pumpkin.
Actually not, because you see the movies, right?
Right.
Make everything look easy and good. Baby, working, going to school, balancing a household, doing homework, bedtime, hair done. I can keep going. Like
keep going, because like I want people to understand. I think the reason we want people to understand how difficult this can be, and especially to the men who, and we'll get to that part in a little bit, who aren't as active as we think that they should be. That's another story, but give us all of those pieces.
Okay, so rundown. You wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? Do your little meditation, do your little worship, get up. Child gets up, she takes a shower. You got to run downstairs, make breakfast, go walk your dog, make sure she get all her her school supplies. You get your work supplies. Drop them off at the bus stop. They go to school, right? You got to make sure you get the groceries, come home, make dinner, catch up with work. Because I'm a healthcare provider, so I work 24/7, 365.
Right.
Catching up work. You're on call. Got to help her homework. Put her to bed. Take a shower. Read a storybook. My daughter will not go to bed if you don't read her a book, okay?
Her love language, right?
Then you got to give her kids. Then you think she sleeps. She ain't sleep. Listen, it's not easy at all.
Right.
Shout out to all the mothers, single mothers, even if they're married and have a husband, we still do everything.
Do a lot.
Right.
So it is really, really tough mentally, physically, emotionally. And heck, yeah, we need a break. I'm sorry. People think if they just take a break from their child, something's wrong. No, you need a break from your children.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving you the permission, because if you don't, mentally, you might have a breakdown.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Patricia, since you was late, you was mothering, right?
I was mothering.
I had to throw that in there. I had to throw that in there, but it's all love, right?
Don't make me have her prove it.
I'm just saying, you're straight. But talk to us about that, because, like, you're doing this, you're doing that. You're also worried about the protection. You're worried about all of these things. Talk to us about that. Just kind of the daily aspect, the daily grind of it. You have teenagers though.
Yeah, I have teenagers, which it gets some of the like having to do things for them changes, but then they're involved in all kind of things. Like she's before school program, 0 period, ASB, cheerleader, after school, like she's in all kind of stuff.
Right.
So we have it set up especially for Tuesdays for me to get her early at 5. She's right around the corner. So I'm like, I go leave. I'm like, okay, I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, I got to run past Target. I'm gonna leave at 4 so I can get to her. I'll be there by 5. It's 5 minutes away. I'll get back. First of all, I don't know where she's at. So I'm like, right. I'm on the phone with my friend and I'm like, yo, like it's 5:15. Like, what is she doing? So I'm messaging them like I'm outside for her. And they're like looking for her. She's dragging her feet. She's coming. And then all the lights are out on to drive back. And safety. We're not speeding. We're not trying to rush and get back. So I'm like, let me let the guys know I'm about to run late. But I'm gonna pop in. I'm here regardless, but I'm gonna run late.
Right.
But in between all of that, I gotta pick her up. They gotta eat when I'm done. So there's a roast in the Instapot and stuff cooking right now. There's
you got some roast in there. Did you put some onions and stuff in there?
And then I cut the little pieces and put some garlic packed in there. All the little first. It's in there. It's
in there. Lift your hands then. That's my love language right there. Food.
Yeah. So they keep you. It's a routine too, and then because she is in the before school program, so she gotta get up at 5 a.m. every day. So it doesn't matter what or how late or what type of sleep I did not get. This child is big on attendance, perfect attendance. She's like she loves school, and so I got to get her there. She's got a whole little fundraiser that just came out. We got to set up the profile, send out the links, check this and check that, and creating flyers. And she was running for president, and it's. Look, and then there's me and everything I need to do, and my hair business, and my this, and my that. So,
be sure to send us that link. We definitely will support.
I sure will.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Felicia, talk to us because you got the tribe. You got 18, 13, 12, 7, 12, 2.5, 6 months. Talk to us about that because I'm sure your day is packed with a lot of emotion. Just a whole wide variety of things. Talk to us about that.
Well, I'm blessed to have my mama like 10 minutes away.
Okay.
So, but a lot of people say like, oh my God, I can't wait till the kids go back to school. I can't wait till the kids. Man, I hate the school year. Like, I can't stay. I would rather the summer. I don't got to worry about homework. I don't got to worry about them getting to the bus, making sure they get home on time, making sure they, there's so many things in their grades. And now I got to talk to this teacher. I got to set up a parent teacher conference with that teacher. I got to go to this field trip. I got to go to that field trip. And I'm like, no, like, I would rather the summer. Y'all can stay up whenever. Y'all can sleep till whenever. Like, for me, that just makes my life easier. But, I run a branch. So I wake up in the morning, and I go to work. If my little ones are already awake, I make sure that I get them breakfast first.
Right.
And I leave my house. I call my mom and I'm like, hey, I'm headed to work. Wake her up. Thank God for her.
Right.
She come over here and she take care of my little ones. Now, my older ones, they probably sleep until like 2:00 in the afternoon. I don't even know. They call me all day, nothing. But my little ones, they always FaceTime me. What time you coming home? Can I lay with you when you get home? What are you going to make for dinner? Can you stop at the grocery store? And I posted a post on Facebook and I said, now I understand why my mom acted like it was going to kill her to make one stop when you get off work before you come to the house. Like, okay. I hate it. They be like, can you stop and get something? I'm like, Lord, why? I just want to go home, But
them long days, right?
Right. Like, they didn't ask to be here. So you just got to do it, but for me, mothering, I mean, aside from the trials and tribulations, like, it's as fun as I thought it was going to be. Like, when I was little, I used to babysit all the neighborhood kids. Like, I lived on base, and it was like, when Felicia gets older, she gonna have like 7 kids. And it's crazy because like I got 7 kids, They would always say like seven,
Wow.
like that show Seventh Heaven or whatever. That's gonna be Felicia. That's gonna be Felicia. And it's just crazy that it's me.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I've always loved kids. Like I've always loved kids. So it to me, it's as fun as I thought it was gonna be. Now the extra stuff, you know, my older kids, when I had the 4 and they were little, I was like, oh my gosh, they drive me crazy. And my friend, she had the teenagers, and she was like, just wait till they get teenagers. I'll take the toddler years any day over the teenage years. And I'm like, no, that's impossible.
Look,
but yes.
yes,
I will
yes,
take these little
yes.
years over these teenagers any day of the week.
I would
Right.
pick anybody's baby and play. I'm the best auntie, godmama, everything. I love the kids, but these teenage years, I'd be like,
Yeah.
Ready to throw hands, huh?
I'm like, just
Yeah,
wait, it's coming.
man, they just. I was like brushing my hair out today after I got a shot, and I found my first gray hair, and I was like, "Oh my God, what is going on?" So yeah,
One of my little swoops on my edges is gray, about 6, 7 of them. I think that was
Your edges is gray.
this one right here. My son is all right here. His name.
she like that's my son right there. That whole side.
That's the
you
red.
bought that
right
on,
there.
right?
But surprisingly, my date isn't as chaotic as one may think having 7 kids, because I have my mom, you know,
Right.
and then when she come here, she makes sure I don't come home to dishes and I don't come home to a mess, you know, and sometimes if I'm working late, she'll already have made them dinner, you know, so I am blessed on that aspect. So
That's
my
awesome.
life ain't as chaotic, but you know, the weekends, she'd be like, okay, I'm on vacation, I'm on break, you know.
Leave me alone, huh? Like I ain't.
That's a big thing.
Right.
Taking breaks. I tell everybody, take your break, go on
Yeah.
vacation, go wherever. Like you said, your mental, you need it. We need it.
Well, for those of you who follow Trisha Michelle on social media, you see she takes her breaks.
Yeah. She be out of there. She be out of the week. She like I ain't stay. Look, my kids are gone. I'll be gone. Like
Somewhere where the moon is shining.
But the funny part is my daughter be gone. She be gone before I be gone. Last weekend she was at school. Her auntie texted me while she's at school. I'm gonna pick her up from school if that's okay with you. She was gone for the whole weekend. So my son, he 18, he already had plans. So I'm gone.
Yeah.
Where am I? Beach, bonfire, what? Like
get up out of there, right?
Because I'm never gonna say no. Go ahead, go to TT's house, go to daddy house, grandma house, and
bye.
I'm
I got another question for y'all.
I see you in about 3 days.
I got another question for y'all. Are you a mother like your mother?
No.
Ooh, Pumpkin, talk to us, because you got that whole pride background with Haitian. You got it's very prideful over there. Talk to us.
Like I told you, that goal. I got to the point, like it took me when I was 33 to finally tell my mother, you know what? I am not going to live for you guys no more. I'm gonna do what I want to do. Respectfully, mother, I'm not gonna do anything to make you happy from now on. I'm telling you, I'm in my 30s now telling her this. So my entire life, I felt everything I did was to please my mother. I didn't do anything to please myself. And I'm being transparent, you know, we've had that conversation. So no, I'm nothing like her. You know, I don't, if my daughter laughs a certain way, I don't criticize her. If she walks a certain way, I don't criticize her. I don't beat her just because she might have caught an attitude with me. Like, I don't know if my mom was emotionally jacked up or what. I really don't know. She hates to talk because that, like I said, Haitian community, they don't express no emotions. They don't talk about nothing. They just do it. And that's what I say. And I'm not at all. I explain everything. I allow her to express herself. I let her dress herself sometimes, but I be like, oh, girl, that ain't gonna work.
But where those kids come from?
What? No.
But would you say that builds like somewhat of a friendship with your daughter and makes the relationship better, so to speak, or how does that work?
Yeah, I don't think she should be afraid of me. I think she should, I think Patricia said it earlier, like your child should be able to come to you with anything and not be able to approach you. And you guys just hash out whatever the issues are. Like if I do yell at her, if I had a bad day when I come home, I'll come back and say, you know what? And parents don't do that. I say, you know what? I'm sorry. I should have yelled at you. You know, I was having a bad day. And I explained to you, well, my mom, sorry, child, please. That lady would look at me.
She ain't cutting no corners. She like, no way.
Yeah. So, you know, no, I'm definitely not like her when it comes to the emotional acts, you know, raising me emotionally. Like this lady right here, Shins, because she's a very strong woman. She wasn't with my father, so I'm the only sibling with a different father out of the other three. So I already feel like I'm outside anyways, you know, so it was just me and her. Then when she got with my stepfather, I felt like, damn, you just threw me to the wood. Okay. So, you know, I already felt the way about that, like Patricia was saying with her son. So I went there already. I've been there. But nah, moms, no, nothing like her. But to instill, you know, values, morals, and all that into my child, she is awesome for that. But all that other stuff, no.
Mess. All right, Patricia, talk to us.
Look, let me just okay. My dad was the strict one. So we go to punishment. We get 30 days punishment.
Right.
In about 3 days, I can go to my mom and be like, Mom, but they're going to the movies this weekend and and I'd be good. By the end of the week, I'd be off. So we're not the same at all because no, like you going every part of this punishment. But so she's a softie. She's a empath. She doesn't like confrontation. She doesn't like, so she'll get it. You could take her there though, which I haven't grown up, but I've seen my siblings do it where she just took a whole shoe and I'd have been like,
them flying shoes.
But
as long as it wasn't a cast iron skillet, because a couple brothers got hit with cast iron skillets as kids, you know.
Backhand my sister while she was doing the dishes, and I turned around like, ooh. But you had to do so much to get her there. So she was not really a pushover, but kind of, you know, like you can get what you want from her. And she's still even like that to this day with my little brother. So like I'm more kind of like I have pieces of that because I sit down and I'll talk to my daughter. I figure out what's going on. I'll talk to my son. I will come back. I've done it plenty of times with my son because like you said, Felicia, like the oldest, the first one is like our trial and error. So I'll come back like, you know what, I was wrong. Like, you know what, I blew up off on you and, you know, my bad, I apologize. So I will come back and I will apologize to them. I will sit down and figure out what's going on and talk to them. I will tell them why. I'm not just because I said. Now, sometimes it is because
sometimes it has to be that, though, right?
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes it has to be. I mean, we are dealing with kids. Let's just be honest right now. Sometimes it sits you down real quick.
But just because I'm like, do this, and there's sometimes where it is an explanation to that why. But you got to know the balance because you're not about to know why just go do what I said. But at the end of the day, I am really way more strict than my mom was. But I'm not as strict as my dad. So my dad whooped your behind. It didn't matter. I told my little sister, shut up, and I hear the belt coming off. So like I'm not that.
Jesus with the whip in the temple.
Yeah, you hear it like everybody. It's like you hear the sound effects whipping out. Like he do a little. So I'm not all that, but I have gotten in them. They've gotten this before. I'm not against it, but they older now, so I don't need to touch you anyway. They're respectful. If I need to get up in their behinds about something, I don't have to go to any of those those lengths to get them to do anything for me. So it's a lot different. It's a nice blend.
Sure. I dig that. Y'all got some dope moms, so I appreciate it. That's dope. That's always good to hear.
Miss Felicia?
I am a lot like my mom. There's only one difference that I really see, and that's like the religion piece. Because like she instilled religion in us, like to where like we didn't have a choice. Like we just went to church every Sunday, Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what we did. She was not strict, you know, like she didn't have to be with me. I was kind of like in, you know, how your guys' daughter is. Like I was in all the sports. Like my dad always say, you're like the son I never had. Like I played all the sports. I sat down, we watched football together. We watched basketball together. Like
Daddy's girl.
I was that tomboy, you know, and I was always involved in something. My grades were always good. So I never got in trouble. Like you never needed to punish me because I never did anything to be punished for, you know, and I was also the baby. But like my oldest sister, like she got punished all the time, but she had a mouth on her and she still got a mouth on her, you know, and it's like
she got what she deserved.
Like punkin'. She just told my mom, like, she's 41. No, she's 42 now. And she just told my mom the same thing like a couple years ago. Like, I'm not going to keep my mouth quiet to keep pleasing you, and I'm still the baby of the family. And it's like, yes, mom, I don't even like slip a cuss word in front of her still to this day. And I'm almost 37 years old. Like, it's just like, I guess it's like just a different dynamic, but I'm a lot like my mom in the aspect of she does everything for her kids, like her whole life. My parents split up when I was 18 years old. Like, they had been together for 20 something years. They split up when I turned 18. My dad said, and she still to this day has never redated, remarried, nothing. Like, everything has been for us. Well, me specifically.
The baby.
Yeah.
For the baby, the spoiled baby. Yeah,
Well,
she
like,
got the baby treatment.
My little sister is spoiled as heck. So,
yeah, but it like instilled in me like to just be there and do everything. When my oldest sister, she don't have no kids. Like, she will not want no kids. She don't have no kids. You know what I'm saying? But then she ended up adopting my other sister's 3 kids. That's a whole nother story. But now she's having to be that mother, and she calls me like, hey, she need help. How do I do this? Or what do I do in this situation? Or, Kalea is acting like this, or RJ's doing that. And she comes to me, even though I'm her little sister, like she still comes to me and, for advice and stuff. And I feel like that's more of mine and her relationship versus hers and my mom's a little bit more sour, so she'll come to me, but she don't even understand the same thing I'm saying to you is probably the same thing mama gonna say to you, because I'm just like her.
Like her, right? That's pretty dope, man. So coming up, is there anything that you guys wanted to do that got adjusted because you became mothers? Like, did you kind of follow your straight path, do what you said you were originally set out you were going to do, or were there any plans thwarted because you became mothers?
I was actually supposed to go in the Air Force.
Okay.
And I did my test. I went up to Mets to do my physical, and that's when I found out I was pregnant. Wow. So needless to say, all that was cut off. They were like, oh, you can wait until after, but then you're going to have to give your baby like legal rights up to, somebody else so you can, and that just wasn't an option. So, I just went on took a totally different path, but.
All right, Pumpkin, because you the goal-oriented girl, but I think you smashed all your goals thus far. None of that deterred you, right?
No, because I had her after I finished school. So, no, not at all. Maybe other things, not children, but, my bad attitude and stuff like that. Yeah.
What? You got a bad attitude? Nah.
A long way, baby. Listen, wrong is going down.
See, is that where Mama come out at, or no?
No, I think those issues that I talked about, like what Patricia was saying, with resentment and not feeling like you belong and you were like an outsider. So I always felt like I had to defend my position. So whenever somebody tried me, I'm defending my my position. So I was always angry for that reason.
And you're a Scorpio, right?
It's all that.
Scorpio, right? Yeah.
I'm a Scorpio too.
I know. Trust me. We get really defensive when you. Yeah. You play. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. These hands come quick.
And that's that bad attitude, right, Pumpkin?
Listen.
Oh man, I have to pray a lot. I thank God I have to pray every day at 3 a.m. It's
no, around the clock.
Around the clock. I'm trying to tell you. All right, Patricia, because like you're the sports girl, you're into. Is there anything that changed? Was it like something that you wanted to do and then you had your kids that you had to readjust? How did that go?
So I had my son young. I had him at 17. So I graduated a couple of months after. And so from there, he didn't really get in the way of anything. I was going to school. I was doing a prereqs for nursing. I knew I was gonna be a nurse. I was going to specialize in being pediatrics department. That's what I was going to do. That's where I was going to be at.
Right.
Then I got pregnant with her, and I had 2 classes left for prereqs, and I was sick, and I was super sick, like morning
Right.
sickness, all the stuff, and I ended up messing up and withdrawing when I shouldn't have, and not being able to go to class, and they put me on ineligible, like all kind of stuff. So now I was just like, let me focus on the kids and life in the house, and then I'll come back to it. And then when I came back, I realized that's not what I wanted to do.
Right.
And then life became all these other goals that I jumped into. So yeah, just went a little
Awesome.
different.
Awesome.
Which I don't regret none of it. I'm like, hey, I like that. I feel like I might have felt like something was missing still if I would have been a nurse.
Yeah.
So I mean, money wise, no. But what else is there for me? Like, so I
Right.
like.
Because we're all figuring it out as we go, right? So to speak. So sometimes those detours kind of shift us in the proper direction. Even as a father, I know that kind of shifted my mindset into understanding what a provider was. Because, I come up in the era where you didn't see that. You just saw the hustling and all of that type of stuff. But then you see that aspect where it's like, oh, you know what? You got to provide for these kids. And that changes, as a man, that changes your whole dynamic, because the only way sometimes we think of it is if we're not providing, then we're letting our kids down, so to speak. So that kind of hits us in there. So that kind of helped me along the way.
I saw an article that says it's like $300,000 to raise a child a year.
Yes.
I seen that
yes.
too. And I said, ooh,
Yes.
California for sure.
Yes.
I mean, I was in nursing school, but it was more recent. I decided, I got my bachelor's degree in psychology, but I was like, man, I want to be a psych nurse, and just having a degree in psychology, to do anything with psychology, you got to have a master's. And I didn't go that far. So I was like, let me go ahead and just, try to be an RN. So I was actually in nursing school, and then COVID happened and they shut down the schools. And then I had 6 kids that had to go to school virtually, and this time and that time and this time. I just had to give it up. And,
Right.
I don't know if I'll ever get back in it, because now I'm not motivated to get back in. I'm fine. I'm comfortable, monetarily where I'm at. So it's not a priority to me anymore. But at first I was like, man, I got to do something.
No, you'll get back to it. You're determined. Trust me.
Yeah.
You'll get back to it. You'll be like, you know what? I want that. We don't give up too easy. Trust me.
Yeah.
We don't give up too easy.
It was like sucking the life out of me. I felt like I didn't really have time with them, because I was always studying, and I had this class and that class. That's why Punk is smarter. She did it before the kids.
Let me
That's because she come from that Haitian background. Her mama and them wasn't having that. Punk and mama would have probably gave her them hands.
Hands, they disown you. They ain't no hands, they disown you. Like if you have like a, initially that's what they'll do. They kind of, I wouldn't say kind of make you suffer, but it's like if you have a child in wedlock, god dang it, hell has frozen over type.
Right.
So it's like you feel like they say for us, because my family back home in Haiti, they're like known as the rich and the popular and the very successful family. So you're tarnishing the family's name.
Right.
That bull crap.
It's about name. It's about legacy. All of that type of stuff.
It's a lot to be in this family, to say the least. Now I don't give a damn.
She's like, I'm being myself, right?
When you learn to live life like that for yourself, because what happens under your roof and with you and your kids and everything is you and not everybody else. That's when you get peace.
It's a freedom.
Exactly. Listen, you said a mouthful there.
I'm glad Trisha Michelle said that, because that brings up part of my next question is, what made you decide to, from what I'm hearing, you all chose a different path for your parenting style. So what made you choose that path, versus the way you were raised? Because you turned out to be great people, but what made you choose a different path?
I'll go. So what made me choose to not be so lighthearted and as soft as my mom is just, like I said, she's still running soft behind my little brother, which ain't little. And I've just watched her just go through so much stress and so many situations and just so much pain and so much. And I'm like, I'll be damned. Like, no,
Right.
I'm not gonna do it. But then also, like, from my other sister, my older sister, she swore my dad was so strict, and I'm like, not for me. Like, I felt like he was cool. Like, he had his, like, don't street lights come on, you better be in the house. And I'm like, dang. But as I got older, a lot of the things that he would say, like, I understood more. But I was like, okay, maybe I don't need to be as strict, because he would just whoop. He didn't care. Like, yeah, I heard y'all acting up, y'all whatever. You're getting whooped. No questions asked. Whoop your ass, and there is no questions later.
Right.
So, like, I don't want to be like that. Like, I don't want to be like that. Like, we don't even talk to him like that. But me and I am a daddy's girl, though, which is crazy.
That's what I was just about to ask. You gotta be a daddy's girl.
I'm a daddy's girl.
That sounds like a daddy's girl. That just sounds like how a daddy would treat his girl.
I'm a daddy's girl. Like Felicia was saying, like, the boy he never had, but he has boys, but they're just not it. Like, I'm in the sports, I watch sports, I know how to work on cars, I know, like, all that. Like, I'm his little boy. So, but I was like, I ain't gotta be that mean. No, I'm gonna be mean, but I ain't gotta be that mean. So I was watching my mom's pain, but then also seeing how he was disconnected from, like, my little brother and my other siblings. I'm like, I don't want to be that. So that's what forced me to do something different.
Right.
Okay.
All right, Punk. All right, because listen, man, this is dope. I love this. All right. Y'all giving our audience, y'all giving everyone some dope information from a great perspective. I love this.
All right, Pumpkin.
I just chose not to. Like I said, she had good qualities. I'm not gonna sit here and say my mom didn't have good qualities, because she had great qualities. I just feel like the emotional part was not there.
Yeah.
So for me, I provide that. That's the one thing that I wouldn't take from her. And that's one thing that I said I was going to do different when I became a parent, to provide emotional support for my child. Right. Outside of that, everything else was good. Like I told you, I think in that culture that I'm not the one to speak of it, because we talked about on our podcast as well, they don't provide emotional comfort for their kids at all. Right. So that's the only thing that I would do. I have done different.
Go ahead, Felicia.
Well, I'm more like her. So, but for me, it was more, I don't instill religion. Like, I mean, I believe in God. Like, they know I believe in God, but it's not like, you have to do this or you have to do that. Like my kid's father, like, he's a Jehovah Witness when he wants to be, so it's not, when he don't want to buy birthday presents and gifts.
Did you say when he want to be?
When he don't want to celebrate holidays.
Exactly. But like, so it's hard because you got two different parenting. So when they go there, they're like, I told Dad, I believe in God, and he just tells me God's not real. Like, so I'm not like that. I'm like, you can choose, you can read up, you can worship, you can just, it's your choice. I don't tell them they have to be this, or this is the only way, or my way is the right way. They get that freedom to, choose if they want to,
Makes sense.
One thing I can say, though, because my mom was soft in, like, that area of raising, but my mom was strong. Right. So, like, all the things, and, like, she gonna figure out a way to make this happen and that happen and that. So that, now every part of her, that part, me, is you. Yeah. Because I'm gonna be involved in this, that, and that. I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do, like, whatever. So that for sure came from her.
Right.
Absolutely. And then, I'm not sure if everyone here has a father, but, my father's passed away. It's been 9 years, actually, 2 weeks ago. Right. So, and my daughter was 6 months old when that happened. So I was more close with him, like Patricia said, with her father. So then when, my father, I can't talk to my father like I want to talk to. It's like, damn, you pull everything in. Because your mom judged you if you talk about the S word. It's like, ew, why are you doing that, bitch? I'm damn 30 years old. Right. Listen, like, she doesn't even want to have that conversation. I'm like, yo, I'm damn near 40 years old.
Right. I was just about to ask that. Listen, because where does the dad, the father, the man fit into this motherly equation? Like, how does that help you balance? Does it help you balance? Usually most dads aren't so emotional. They are more strict, especially towards girls. where does that dynamic fit into you guys' situation, whether present or not present? Do you feel that impact? Does it matter? How does that work? How does that work?
You asking like my father, or you asking like my kid's father?
Just in general. So whether there be a man, a father from the children that's present or non-present, like does it impact the relationships, so to speak, with the children? Because I know, let's say Felicia, maybe one father is present. I don't know your situation, so I'm not trying to put it out there like that, but
Oh,
one may be present,
I like
all may
that
be
how
present.
you
You get what I'm
say
saying?
like
How does that impact it?
well, one father is, I don't want to say terrible because he's there. You know what I'm saying? Like he's present and he tries, but like him and I, no. Like I've tried to get along, like, and I just feel like it's not me. But at the same time, I can never be a father. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's women out there like, oh, I'm the mother and the father. No, you're not. You're just a really strong mother. Like, you cannot be a father. Like, no mother can be a father. So for me, like, I want them to
Lift your hands. There you go.
I want them to have their father. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if it is detrimental to their mental health at this point, I have to protect them.
Right.
So they can see it as I'm being, oh, like you just trying to keep them from. No, like if they don't want to go there, there's a reason they don't want to go there.
Right.
You know, but my three little ones, their dad, great. We're friends. We get along, send pictures, like, you know what I'm saying, of the kids. He comes to their sport and stuff. Like, we don't have those issues, you know. So I know it's not me because I want them to have a father, you know, because I can't be that. So we co-parent fine. He's a longshoreman, so his job be up and down. If he can get him, he can get him. If he can't, if he can't, he won't. But I know if he can't, it's because he really can't. Like, he's not one of them fly by night, pop in when I want. Like, if he can't, he just can't. You know, if it's not his day, like, he'll still be like, hey, you know, I'm in the area. Can I come take him to lunch? Sure. Come get him. You know what I'm saying? Because we do need that break. You know, the other one, you know, he was supposed to get him one time. He's like, because my kids were like, hey, when are you coming? Mom's going to Myrtle Beach. He's like, well, then I'm not coming because I'm not her babysitter. Like, it's like that mentality that I can't work with. Like, it's so frustrating and it's so hard. But like, as for my dad, he was there, but he wasn't there. You know, like, he was there, but he was not involved. He never went to not a one sporting event, like never of mine. But he got in a motorcycle accident, and he's actually like, he permanently damaged his frontal lobe.
Oh,
so
wow.
like he's a little bit slower now. But now, like, we have a great relationship. Like, we talk, you know, he's like, oh, I love you guys. And you know, tell the grandkids I love them. And he was just never like that until his accident. And I don't know what happened, but he's a totally different father now. Right. So although I wasn't blessed in that aspect when I was younger, I have that now. And so for me, it's fine. Like, I forgave him. I forgive him, you know, but yeah. So yeah, but I think a father role is number one important in a kid's life. Like, they could do so much damage when you're not in your kid's life, mother or father, you know, but a mother can never be a father. So stop saying
that. I hate.
They be like, oh, happy Father's Day to me. And I'm like, no.
And don't tell me that, because we can never fill those shoes, no matter what. Now, we can protect them. We can do as much as we can. We can be, you know, masculine in some ways that we can try to be, but at the end of the day, we're not going to ever be that. And that's just like a lot of women that say that need to just stop, because you're really actually hindering and hurting your child once you get behind and understand and learn that you can never be that. And maybe there's someone else outside of the dad that can't be there, whether it's your dad or his grandfather or a friend. Like I said, my son has a mentor. Like it's not his dad and it's not my dad. Like it's, regardless.
A male presence, right?
Right. It's a male presence that he he attached to, that he really listens to. So I'm not going to take this person from you. You need that. So, I mean, I feel like women need to definitely, any woman that says that needs to just cut it, because you're hurting your kids for sure.
So Patricia, talk to us about how your dad played a role, since being the daddy's girl. Talk to us how he played a role in how you are today.
It's so funny to me how I'm a daddy's girl, because he was strict. Like he was. And like Felicia, it's crazy you were just saying that my dad was involved in a motorcycle accident when I was younger. When I was way younger, he was sitting at a light, he was hit from behind and thrown across it. So he had 2 hip replacements, knee replacements. Like he had a lot of things. So he wasn't as mobile and moving around like that. He could get up and move around, but it just he couldn't go back to work. He was considered disabled and all these other things. So he was in the house a lot, but wasn't as active like that. But he can get up to whoop though. But,
he had to be present. He had to be present doing something. That just means he was a determined man.
But it's a lot of things that back then he would tell me, like, those ain't really your friends, like, because I live for my friends. I'm gonna go, these are my friends, and he'd be like, those ain't your friends. And I'd be like, what you mean? Like, those are my friends. You don't know what you're talking about. And I got older and I'm like, these are my friends. And I get what he was talking about. So a lot of the stuff that my dad would say back then, which was like speaking riddles to me, because he's old school or whatever. And now I'm older and I relate and I get it. And I'm just like, and I think for us, where our bond started is when my parents split, because they split when I was in the beginning of high school. So I became the mother in the house because I stayed behind because my little sister. So I basically raised her. She'll tell everybody I'm like her mom. So I stayed behind. And so I stayed to help him more. My dad with my little brother and my little sister. So we became real close because he's disabled, hip replacement, all those other things. Like my mom's fine. Like I'm gonna help them out. So I stayed there. That's where we became real close. So his strictness became something that I wanted to implement because I didn't want to be walked over, for sure.
Right.
So it's something that consistency is strict, because that man, but I feel like it helped mold me.
When you're split, you stayed with your dad?
I stayed with my dad. I stayed behind. Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then I went later to my mom. But yeah.
All right, Pumpkin. Now you said your dad, you said he passed?
Yeah, I was like 26 when that happened. So he was, I'm kind of like Felicia. He wasn't always there, but when I needed him to be there, he was there. If it makes, like, my biggest moments of my life, he was always there. What was the question again? Because I kind of forget.
We talk about the dads and the impact. We talk about that balance. Like, did they bring that balance into your life? Because I know you talk about your mom being like, you know what I'm saying? Like Joe Frazier out in this joint. You know what I'm saying? What was Pop said? How was he doing it?
He was the balance, because he was the cool one. You can have the conversation with him. We chopping up like we friends. You know what I'm saying? He was telling me my dude was cheating on me before I knew he was cheating. You know what I mean? So dad was gonna put me up on game to be honest. You know what I mean?
That's what we do for our daughters, by the way. Some of them don't listen, but I mean, hey,
put me up on game.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Some of y'all don't listen, but it's all right.
But for my daughter, like, that plays a big key for her, for sure. Like golly, why she keep texting me? Patricia, I agree. Everything you said, that's her. My daughter, that's her. Like, a man has to be present in the child's life, period. He only has one kid. I only have one kid. Thank God we have come to mutual grounds. But no woman can be a father. We cannot give that child that I don't know the word I want to use, because I want to say nothing bad about you guys.
What? Hold on. You want to say nothing bad? Ain't nothing bad about us on this panel. You know
I know that fatherly love.
No, I'm just messing with you.
that hear and see that side. You know what I mean? Us show them the nurturing, the strong and independent and growth, where men gonna teach them everything else. Like, this is how you should be treated. This is what you should do when you get in this situation. Like those type of things where you guys will be straightforward and they'll receive it better from you guys.
And
Right.
that's where the whole
So
daddy issues come from in these women when they get older. So yeah,
Say that
exactly.
again, Patricia.
that's where daddy issues come from. Lift your hands. Okay.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Facts. It is facts. It is facts.
Yep. So
Okay, so
both parents are needed. And Mark said that when we was on last week on our
Yeah,
show.
Mark was tipsy in a mug though.
And then he
They say
apparently
that
has some good stuff to
they
say.
say that when you get some liquor and your boy, you start telling the truth. Boy, he was spitting game though, but
He
And
got some good
Patricia,
stuff
we
to say,
missed
it
you
sounds
too.
like.
boy, he
Patricia,
was
we
on
missed
it though. He was on it though.
all right. So before we get ready to wrap up, I got one last question, and this to the ladies, and it's just kind of how we wrap up the shows with advice. But this week it's advice for mothers, especially new or younger mothers, that maybe don't have the guidance, maybe don't have the people around them with the experience of how to be a mother.
Right.
Like, give them some advice, before we wrap up about from your experience. We can start with Patricia.
I would definitely say take a breath. It's going to be stressful days. It's going to be ups and downs. You're not going to know everything, that's for sure. It doesn't matter where you came from and who taught you what. You don't know everything. Seek help, reach out, educate yourself. The stuff we learned from our parents, they were learning as they were raising us. So you you don't take everything, take pieces and help build and blend the type of parent that you want to be for these kids as you raise your own. And like Pumpkin said earlier, don't let nobody else tell you how to run your household. Find your peace and
Right.
really listen to these kids.
Okay. All right, Pumpkin.
So I'm gonna piggyback off of Patricia. She did hit on some really key points there when we talk about parenting. I feel like the thing that's really not mentioned is self-care when it comes to the parent itself. It's okay for you to step away from the kids and take time away to get yourself physically, mentally, spiritually okay for you to be able to perform as a parent. So don't get mad if you got to go away for the weekend, spa day. It's okay. Do not feel guilty at all.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, if you can have the father involved in that relationship, please, by all means, if it's not as toxic or unhealthy situation, please do the best to have that father involved in that child's life. Patricia has gave us some scenarios. I've gave scenarios, and so has Felicia from different we're all from different backgrounds. We have different households raised differently. So we see how important that father figure is. So if it's something you could work out, co-parent, please, please, please do that. Pay attention to your children, as far as their emotions, any type of, what's the word I want to use? Not cues. So if they act a certain way, find out why. Just explore and pay attention to your kids, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yes.
Key. All right, Miss Felicia.
You took what I was gonna say about the fathers
Oh,
because
I'm
it's
sorry.
really important.
All right.
But
It's all right.
I'm gonna piggyback a little bit off of it, and I'm just gonna say, like, especially for like young mothers and stuff, like, you don't have to be with the child's father. Sometimes that's more detrimental to that child is trying to stay in a toxic relationship. That child sees that, so you can
We done had several lift your
co-parent.
hand moments on this show tonight. I just want y'all to
Man.
know
You
that.
can co-parent effectively, and that's way more healthier for your child. People be like, oh, but we got kids together. That doesn't mean y'all both can't be their parent. You
Right.
just can't be
Man.
the parent together. Like, and
Preach. Preach.
and
You over
it's
here
okay.
preaching.
Like, it's okay.
She got an amen corner. What going on?
But I just want them to know, like, it's okay. Like, but
Right.
don't be that parent that's going to stop the blessing of your child having both parents.
Yeah.
Don't let that bitterness, play a factor in it, because at the end of the day, you're only going to hurt the child, and the child's going to grow up one day and they're going to see who the problem is, and you don't want it to be
Mhm.
you.
Amen.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Ooh,
Very, very, very true.
Oh,
that is very true, because I think we've seen that and heard that story a lot in our adulthood. We have a lot of people who look back on their childhood, and mainly it's people who didn't have their fathers in their life for one reason or another, and then because their mom told them all this stuff, and then they actually get a chance to go talk to the dad, and it's a whole
and they're like, what?
Right.
Right.
Like, you mean to tell me I was robbed of these 20 years of getting to know you and getting to know it and understanding this and understanding that? And yeah, I mean, I lived through that. So
Yeah. I mean, the other thing Felicia said too is like, you don't have to be in the same household. That's going to be even worse. Then they start thinking toxic relationships and this
are acceptable
is the norm. So yeah, I should, girl, let them know.
Go on with your bad self. This was probably, listen, this was a dope show. I just want to say that to each of you guys. I think you guys paired perfectly together. So, I mean, this was awesome. This was dope. I mean, of course, we got 3 Scorpios on the show. So, I mean.
Oh,
okay.
Don't worry. I'm a Libra, so.
Yeah, you pair well with us, so you straight. You all right. You pair well with us. You straight.
Yeah,
I don't know about Ken though. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Oh Lord.
No.
I don't even be worried about all that stuff, man. Ken is just who he is. You know what I'm saying? Right. Exactly. My sign, just for reference, is a Pisces, and
we get along well.
Yeah. This whole
Pisces generally get along with most people, so. I don't have any issues. I'm a very down-to-earth, grounded person. So I'm just here to help, and I'm just here to love, and I'm just here to coexist with my fellow humans.
Yes.
So, kumbaya. All right.
Kumbaya.
So y'all already know how we do it at the end of the show. After we got this good information and this good advice from these mothers, we need to know how to find you on social media. We need to know about that. So
yeah, because folks don't come looking for you.
Exactly, because y'all gave some awesome advice tonight, and we need people to follow up with you and follow you on that social media. So, all right, okay, we're gonna start with Miss Felicia this week, because she actually got her IG.
I noticed. Look,
look at her.
So, Miss Felicia,
a little bit.
Tell the people how to find you.
Arizona, like Siri will tell me in my ear, Bab3F, but it's really Babe, but the 3 is a backwards E_F for Felicia. I'm also on Facebook at Felicia Banks. You can find me. I mean, you probably can find me. They tag me in all the fire session posts, so yes. You can find me there too.
Okay.
All right. Pumpkin spice.
But you can follow me. I'll try to. Usually I only accept people that I know, but I'm about to open my horizons.
Listen, Felicia is a killer with the sports. I can't wait till we have our sports session, because you already know how it's going to go down. It's going to be killer.
All the way there.
I'm excited for that one.
It's going to be dope. It's going to be a killer. I
don't do football. I do basketball, but I don't do no football.
It's all right. We're gonna have to make this work. Y'all were dynamic on this, so this was dope.
Who's next? Me?
Pumpkin. Yes, ma'am.
Go on, Pumpkin.
You can find me on all social media platforms. Pumpkin, please remove the P out the middle. It's PUMKIN Spice. TikTok, you put 3 dots in between the pumpkin and the spice, and you'll find me there. Please make sure you check out my podcast, Sassy But Classic AK podcast, on all social media platforms. Same thing. And I was speaking of self-love. I do have a self-love workbook that is available on Amazon, so you could just, type it in a search bar, or you can find it in my bio in any of my social media platform. And I do have a affirmation book coming out and a self-reflection journal that's coming out in October.
All right.
We're definitely going to support it. We're definitely going to share it. We're definitely going to put it out there. So appreciate you.
Facts.
Patricia, you already with us. Do you really need to? No, I'm just messing with you, girl.
Well,
yeah, we know dudes trying to find her IG to shoot.
Yes. It's all right. It's all right. Tell them to stay off her.
So you can find me. That's my Instagram handle, Trisha Michelle _YouTube. The YT is for YouTube. I have a YouTube, Trisha Michelle Sports YouTube, that I am actually in the works of revamping and doing some creative things so I can start getting some more videos out. So go ahead and follow me there. It's Trisha Michelle there. I'm also a cosmetologist, so I'll get your hair did at Hair by Trisha Michelle on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, Trisha Michelle, Patricia Bynum. That's my actual name. But you can find me everywhere. And on TikTok, Trisha Michelle as well. So Trisha Michelle.
Lord. I got bullied into getting a TikTok.
Yeah. So. I'm proud of you.
Listen, that TikTok be it.
Look, right?
Listen, man, I got too much going on, man. But the boss bossed me around, so I gotta
about to control you now.
Listen, my two partners, they don't boss me around, so I got one. So now I gotta start building TikTok.
Right now, I'm gonna expect a weekly post or something. I need a.
I'm see all this pressure. No, I'm definitely gonna start putting that in rotation and getting stuff on there. It's gonna be different content though. I ain't gonna post all the same content everywhere. So.
Gotta mix it up a little bit. You're gonna do great. We are, me and Ken say you're about to do great.
I mean, if y'all two say it, I have no choice but to believe it. So y'all lucky I like y'all. So
just lift your hands.
I mean, yes, some boss.
Talk to the people, Benji.
Oh man,
I got
listen, man. I just want to say,
hold on. I gotta do my usual. Benji Banks, the man, the brand.
Hey,
I mean,
I'm known as a sports orphan, but go ahead.
Yes, I am the sports orphan because I'm getting at all of y'all garbage teams, and I'm gonna laugh at y'all this year when y'all teams fall short. I'm gonna be at your doorstep giving you all the smoke.
Nice win, Cowboys. You feel me? Nice win.
Man, they better have beat the Chargers in preseason. Cowboys happy about Turpin.
Oh Lord, what you happy about?
Come on, man. Tell the people where to find you.
Listen, the link is in the bio. You can find the 5 Session Podcast in there. You can find the wine stores in there. You can find my IG in there. You can literally find everything in there if you go on the link in my bio. We got everything coming. We got some new ambassador deals that were proposed to me. So we're going to be working and putting stuff out there. So on TikTok, you might see your boy back in his full workout gear. You know what I'm saying? Because we got some endorsements and stuff like that coming our way. So we're just going to make everything happen and make it all work. And go subscribe. Listen, this was a dope show. Y'all go pull this up on your smart TVs and whatever and YouTube this session and watch it and share it with your friends. Tell your partners. We're going to be on Billboard soon. I can promise you that. We're going to be on somebody's Billboard. We're going to make it happen. It's going to be dope.
And y'all already know Benji said he's going to be posting some content, and he's got some workout gear. Benji wears hoochie daddy shorts to run in.
He does.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Ladies, y'all can tune in, fellas. Skip that content.
No, listen, we want the fellas to skip it.
Yeah, skip that content.
I don't want no Negroes pulling up on me. If you I was just about to say something. Lord help me. Thank you, Lord, for helping me. But listen, we are building something. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if I'm comfortable with, because the white lady next to me, she be hitting on me when I be wearing my hoochie daddy shorts. So outside when I run, so I think I'm gonna retire them joints and put them in a frame and put them on the back wall with Shaq back there.
Look, even Jody and we all talked about it last time. You might just a little sugar mama. Keep your hoochie daddies on. It's gone next door and have some wine with
all the girls.
No, man, she too old, man. She came knocking on my see. I think I need a woman in my life now because now
my mama's in the comments. Hi, mom.
Now I gotta be nice, super nice. I can't say nothing bad now. Mama's in the comment section. Lord have mercy. But no, man. Listen, I ain't no. She old. She came knocking on my door one day, talking about I don't see no girls come over your house. You a black man. Why? I'm like, hold on, you watching a little bit too much.
That's what they best. They observe.
I'm just, what'd you say?
They observe. They see everything we don't see.
Yeah, they know too much. That's why I like that I'm in the back. Okay, don't nobody know where I live. I'm caught in the back, but she get to see when I pull up in my car, and then I'm like,
ain't nobody gonna see when she take you.
Listen, I ain't trying to go that route.
Well,
choice.
We're gonna have to put a tracker on Benji.
Air tag.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, brother walk outside his own house, you know, you want to feel comfortable walking out in your hoochie daddy shorts. You know what I'm saying? And now I got to feel a little reserved. You know what I mean? So, you know.
She's not complaining at all, Benji. It's okay.
Well, that's okay, because we can leave the hoochie daddy shorts to Benji, because we ain't doing that around here. No power to you, my brother.
Hey, man, we got to run, man. We got to run. We got to get our run on. I'm just saying. I can still run, Ken. I don't know if you can still run, bro. Full speed? When was the last time you ran full speed?
I knew he was about to come.
I can still run full speed, bro.
Okay.
I can still run full speed.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Y'all, mothers, y'all still running full speed?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
She like, no. Look, Patricia, listen, we know, listen. You on goddess level, all right? Sports and all.
I'm telling y'all right now, do not end up on these videos with your hip flexors going out of whack, because a lot of people think they can run until they go to actually run, and them hip flexors like, nah, man.
So that's why you stretch out. You do your
but we have to stretch. But
that's what I'm saying. You got to stretch on a regular basis, because when you go to stretch that one time and you go try to run, the hip flex is gonna be like, nah, dog.
Yoga every morning and meditation.
Okay. I mean, Pumpkin already said she do her yoga, her stretching, her prayer, her worship. She sound like me in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I don't do nothing without doing all of that.
Look, I can run, because let a dog try to chase me.
Listen,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm running.
Now, a couple years ago, I had a dog and he got out and he ran and I pulled a muscle. So that's what made me actually start working out again. So
old. But anyway,
it's all right. It's all right.
Y'all already know. Y'all can find me
aging like fine wine.
Yeah, okay, Benji.
You ain't had no wine today, huh?
That's why you didn't know what wine came from. But okay, go ahead, Big Ken.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
What? And this coming from somebody who didn't even get their wine for the show.
Hold on. Let me let the people know how to find Big Ken. Big Ken's Comedy on IG, Big Ken's Comedy on Twitter, Big Ken's Comedy on Facebook. You can also find the Fiyah Session on all social media platforms. Just hit that search bar, type FIYAH session, and it's gonna pop up on whatever social media platform you own. And you know what? You want to follow us because you want to get this great content that we got pushing out. And we also accept, topics and interviews and stuff like that. So if you got somebody in your life that you think is worthy of an interview, inbox us, because we're gonna hook that up. Now, if they're not worthy, we're gonna be like, nah.
I won't want to hurt nobody's feelings now.
Like, no, they ain't ready yet. Maybe when they, bust a move. So, but we try to feed the people what they want. So that's what it's all about.
Sassy but classy get the Grace Shot stage next season.
Yeah. Oh, no. This
season. Not even next season. We gotta have you guys on. Okay, we gotta have you guys on.
This season, we're definitely going to have you guys on. So we also collaborate with a lot of other podcasts as well. Right. So that's what we're big on as well. And it's about building that community feel and, helping one another out and also having these great conversations. And we can't do that without great content, without great content providers. So we appreciate the ladies for joining us tonight. Next week, another dope episode coming your way. Y'all.
Lord have mercy.
I'm telling you, y'all got to stay tuned, because some of the interviews that we have with some of the people, when we have them on, you can't say we didn't know about this person, or I ain't never heard of that person, and then you hear about them all of a sudden. We catching people on the way up. So y'all better.
Yes, we are.
Subscribe.
Yep. So we getting access to a lot of people who are on their way up. So you might want to tune in so you can catch them early, but we appreciate y'all for tuning in. We're going to let y'all get back to y'all lives. Y'all already know we appreciate you. We love you. Go to the YouTube channel, like, subscribe, hit that little bell, get the notifications when we go live, when we get new content. Again, thank you, ladies, for coming on, giving them the game on how to be a mother, because guess what? They are the mama. Y'all, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all.
Me. Nice to meet you guys.
She
wants to say hi. Say hi, girl.
Hey, girl.
What's going on, little Patricia?
Cutie.
Hi, yo.
I say hi to the people. Yes, baby. Okay.
Thank you for tuning in to the Fiyah Session. Follow us on all social media platforms. Just search Fiyah Session.